Hello, everyone, and a very, very good morning to each and every person here. We've just come off finishing another amazing live release from the Happiness Habit, and we're here today to discuss and go through our series of empowerment through emotions. So, today's topic is a very, very special one because it is at the core fundamental of all that we are, of all that we experience. Because today we're going to talk about the relationship pyramid that exists within our lives. Now, when I refer to something like a relationship pyramid, essentially that refers to every relationship within your life. So, whether in your life it is that you're saying, oh, my relationship with my partner, there's constantly a lot of ups and downs, or it's your relationship with your kids, your relationship with your in laws, your relationships with anyone at all. Today, we're going to speak about the aspect that our own emotions have to play in terms of having those relationships be healthy, be stable, and be something that actually bring growth within our lives. Now, one thing that we all know is that our relationships or anyone around us is a mirror to what energy we are feeling within ourselves. Whatever energy it is that you're feeling within yourselves becomes the energy that you're eventually reflecting outwards, becomes the energy that you're receiving as well from your different relationships, from the dynamics within those relationships. And a lot of times, when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling hurt, when you're feeling resentful, it is actually a representation of something within ourselves that requires work. Now, we've taken a lot of past weeks where we have spoken about this, where we've given you tools that, okay, if somebody is really annoying you, really hurting you, if, there's a certain aspect of their behavior is something which really triggers you, then reflect back as to what that might be teaching you, what obligation do they have, what are they there to teach you. This is an aspect that we have covered a lot of times in the past, so which is why I'm not coming back to that discussion and coming back to that understanding, because I believe a lot of you have already understood it. If you have not, you can refer back to the past videos to understand exactly how we invite people within our lives to mirror what we might be feeling and how we might be feeling at a given point in time, and everything that we experience in terms of our interaction with them, our dynamic with them. The reason that a person is different with different people and they behave a certain way with you is simply because of the energy field that you have and the energy you are giving out to them. So if I'm feeling underconfident, if I'm feeling, should I be spending money on this? Should I be doing this? Is this right? Is this what it should be? If I'm ignoring my body, if I'm being very stubborn about something, and I refuse to look inwards, the easiest way for the universe to show me that is to send that to me through a relationship that is really close to me. And oftentimes, when we look at what that person might actually be teaching us, or what part of our personality they are actually playing, that becomes extremely easy to resolve at that point. Now, this is something we have actually discussed in the past. Today, what we want to discuss is a different aspect of the same topic that is there, which is our relationships with others, our relationship with ourselves, and how the relationship pyramid is actually made. Now we're aiming to keep these sessions shorter so they're easier for all of you to go back to listen to and just review anytime that you wish to. Which is why I've told you the point of reference of any of the past sessions that might help you. But coming to the point of the relationship pyramid that we have, at the base of the pyramid, all the relationships are built upon one base. And what is at the base of that pyramid? At the base of that pyramid is our relationship with ourselves. What is your relationship with yourself? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your personality? How do you feel about the way you look? How do you feel about the way you carry yourself? How do you feel about how people talk about you? How do you feel about all aspects of your being? I want to give all of you a little moment to just think about these questions that I've just put out there. How do you feel about you? Think in your minds, be very candid, be very honest. And just now might not be enough time to reflect upon that, but really today sit down with a notebook and think about how do I feel about it? Because we spend so much time thinking about how do I feel about what this person thinks of me, how do I feel about how their personality is, how do I feel out of about what they said, about what they did. But how much time do we spend to really sit down and think about how do I feel about who I am? Because this question is not something random that I have just simply told you all. This question is at the fundamental point which defines your relationship with everyone. Why is that? When I think about how I feel about myself, you will notice people in your environment that actually, when you're around them, your energy just uplifts. And the people in your environment that you're around them and you don't really feel very good. Why is that? Because the relationship that you have with yourself is at the base of every other relationship you will have in your life. You will notice that when you feel good about yourself, when you feel happy about yourself, when you are content with yourself, that automatically becomes the energy that there is and the energy that goes in all your relationships. When I am, if you see a person, for example, who is financially stable, financially capable, they're earning, they have done that for a long time, they know that they can earn well. You will see that in their relationships, there will be very few fights around. They didn't give me this. I wasn't given the house I wanted. I wasn't given the phone I wanted. But ghar ke kharche mein this happened, but this, but that. They may still have relationship things that are going on. But you will see very few of their fights, the concern is money. Even if their husband is not giving them anything, even if their partner is not contributing to the house, even if their partner is not doing anything, because they are so settled in that area of life, in that area of thinking, they are so content with what they are doing, and they have a confidence in what they can do ahead, that automatically does not become something that becomes a prominent thought in their mind. Now think back to if any of you have had these concerns, these fights, these things with your family members, wherein you feel like you were denied something, you didn't get the house you wanted to live in, you're not living the lifestyle that you had imagined living. You feel like, oh, I wish I was given this, I wish I was treated this way. It could be materialistic, it could be non-materialistic, it could be something as simple as, I wish, they just spoke to me nicely. Anytime we have started and we have a space within us that is feeling uncontented, we're not feeling happy with ourselves. And the reason we are talking about this, and we're not talking about the aspects that we've spoken about before. I'm not simply talking about self-love here. Self-love is, of course, very, very important. Self-love is the fundamental of all of it. But there's also the different aspects. What are the different aspects that I'm talking about? Self-love, gratitude, feeling good about yourself. Do you know that somebody, if they're not happy with how they look, that too can come out as complaints about money? If somebody is feeling like I'm not doing enough with my life, यार मेरा potential कितना है और मैं कर क्या रही हूँ, if I'm not doing enough with my life, that also can come up as major fights with their housekeeper also. I'm not just talking about you and your partner here or something, but any seed of discontentment that is there within us, within ourselves, whether that comes from self love missing, whether that comes from different virtues. So they say our soul is here to learn various virtues of life, to learn and master various virtues of life. Those virtues include, but are not limited to, gratitude, joy, happiness, kindness, forgiveness, love, compassion, and so many more. So we've discussed in various topics, in various different forms, how we are here to master those different virtues within our life. Now we're here to master those different virtues within our life, so which is why we take life upon life. Certain characters within our life, we define our relationships in a manner which will push us, which will trigger us, which will bring out the best in us, but which will also bring out the worst if we have come for that learning. Right? We're here to master those virtues. A lot of times, though, if we decide to get very caught up in the drama of everything that is happening, and we completely forget about the main reason that we're here, the essential virtues that we're here to master, any movie that is made, it is made first with a certain vision. Whether you see a movie that where they've given you a message in a very light manner, you see a Three Idiots, you see which was a movie that recently people are talking about. You see any of Rocky or Rani. So many people are very deeply impacted by it. I thought it was a very ordinary movie. And everyone was like, he's taken on these 5, 6 themes and he's portrayed them so well. Equality, men being able to take any career, age romance, this, that. So whether it's a movie that feels like it's purely for entertainment, or whether it's a movie that is extremely serious, where they've taken a message and addressed it very seriously, very head on. What is the purpose of that movie? No director decides and says, let's just put these 10 people together, tell them to do whatever they want, and we'll make a movie. Anytime I want to make a movie and a movie that's going to do well, the base of that is a solid idea, a solid script, something that I really want to portray. What is my objective of that movie? What are the key points I want to deliver in that movie? Any movie has a key, whether you take an animated movie or any movie or a documentary. Any movie is produced because there is a certain key point, key message that needs to be delivered. And now basis of the director's style, basis of the star cast, they will decide whether to give that message out in a manner which is humorous, in a manner that is really serious, in a manner that is more dramatic. Same goes for our life. You might be a director that decides to do learn the message through humor. You might be a director that decides to learn the message through a serious manner. You might be a director that decides, there'll be a difficult time. Most movies, what happens? There's a difficult time, they surpass it, and then the good time comes. Whether it's an action movie, whether it's a romance movie, whether it's anything. Now, basis of our own direction style and how we want to learn those lessons, we decide what will be the tonality of that movie. How will I give that message? How will I learn that message? Before coming into the life, I decide these are the few things that I really wish to deliver in this movie. How do I want to learn the message? And accordingly, I will choose the star cast. I want to do a serious movie, I will choose a certain star cast. I want to do a fun-loving movie, I'll choose a different star cast. and I'll give them directions as per that. But what was the base is that this message has to go out there. Now, if the actors all get caught up in their own drama so much that they're just constantly, you see some movies you watch and it started out good, you thought there'll be a great message at the end of the movie. But somewhere you feel like the movie just lost its plot. Ending में कुछ पता ही नहीं चला कि क्या हुआ. That is what happens when we forget that we are here for our soul's growth. We're here to enhance that relationship with ourselves, that everyone else is a supporting cast that's going to get us there. Extremely important, because if you didn't have characters in the movie, you could not make a movie. You cannot have a 3 hour direction where there's just one person, thinking and making changes. Those people's actions are very important to make that message come through. But when we forget our soul's growth, when we forget the main directive of the movie and we get caught up in the drama, a lot of what was required is lost. When a person is not content with themselves, when we're talking about our relationship with ourselves, just sit back and notice anything, any point of discontention that you might have with yourself will reflect a person who's not happy with themselves, a person who's feeling insecure. That insecurity then comes out in the manner of that person not being able to trust others. They'll question everyone, even people who are doing a lot for them, even people who are, doing everything they can for them. When we are unable to love ourselves, that comes out in a manner which is very, very defensive. That comes out in a manner where, oh, you didn't do this for me. Oh, you couldn't even do this. Where we are constantly questioning, where we are unable to trust ourselves. So this is the energy going out as well. That lack of trust towards others, that lack of trust towards the universe, that insecurity becomes something that is spreading everywhere. So often people come in for sessions and they've come in for one issue, and the emotions that come about, that insecurity that comes about, is for something completely different. But now it is coming out in every relationship of theirs, in all the work they're doing, everything that they're doing. So it's extremely important to A, introspect about how we feel about ourselves, and B, think about how can we better align to ourselves. How can we better align to who we are, to what we want to do? What is my objective? Have I ever sat and thought about what are my goals? We think about how I wish to be treated by a certain, I want my partner to treat me this way. I want my child to treat me this way. Currently, we're working really hard on a module that we're going to release for all of you. We're going to be releasing it on Sunday. I don't know how many of you are already following along the Instagram feed. We're talking about a topic that's really close to my heart, which is that of mom guilt. And how, I don't know one single mom that does not feel guilty about something, anything. There is something we've spoken about in the newsletter. Given Mother's Day, we're developing a workshop to just release that. We're planning to have it at a price point that is very affordable so that all mothers can do that without any guilt, without anything. And one of the key pointers, yesterday I was framing the workshop. And one of the key pointers I was discussing was this, as to why kids also talk by the people, like mothers will, when we're talking about mom guilt, mothers will be feeling it primarily. Why? Because they'll be like, I did everything for my child. Jaan घिस दी उसके लिए. I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. And that same child will come back and say, हाँ तो क्या हुआ? ये कर लिया तो क्या हुआ? Or they'll talk back. Why is that? Somewhere when that energy within me is not aligned, that energy within me is not balanced, and where we feel that point of discontention within ourselves, When we have never allowed ourselves to have aims, goals, desires, we know I want this person to treat me like this. My partner should talk to me like this. They should give me time. They should do this for me. They should do that for me. Do all of us have a list of things we want people to do? It could be an expectation and how you want your partner to behave with you, your child to behave with you, your parents to be with you, your colleagues to behave with you, anything at all. We have goals, objectives there. We have goals and objectives, and we see sometimes when we've lost ourselves and we're constantly thinking about others and not ourselves. We have goals, objectives of theirs that we know. Acha, no, they want to achieve this. This day is my child's concert in school, so I have to really help out. I have to keep my day free. I need to do this. This day are their prelims, so I need to do this. Your boss gives you goals, they'll tell you, okay, this day is this meeting, this day is that year-end review. Do we all alter our schedule as per that? As per whoever's important? Now, when my base is not strong, when my base is not strong and I am unsure of what my goals, objectives are, you can be a working woman, you can be a stay-at-home person, you can be anyone, woman, man, anyone really. No matter what role you play, till you do not have that alignment within yourself, you do not have a clarity of what are my goals. Nobody else defines your goals, you define your goals. Your goals can be tangible goals, financial goals. Your goals can be I want to want to look a certain way, I want to earn a certain amount, I want to spend time with myself. It can be as tangible or intangible as you like. I wish to meditate, I wish to get to know myself better, I wish to read 2 books a week. Anything, your goals are defined by you. But that requires sitting down and going like, okay, what am I here for? What makes me happy? How do I feel? How do I feel about who I am now? Others is other problems come by because people's eventual problem goes down to them not liking the version of them they've become. They'll say, I've lost my identity. I don't even know who I am. I don't even know how I feel anymore. I feel like that person I was now was someone else. You'll hear that in their stories also. When I was younger, now I used to be very bindas. I used to do this, I used to do that. Oh, before, no, I was very smart. Before I was this, before I was this, before I was this. But when my energy is constantly in the past, when my energy is constantly in how other people are behaving, when my energy is constantly everywhere outside, but not with me, when my pyramid is lying on a base which is hollow, how is it going to sustain? Hollow base है तो सब खाली लगेगा. So look at what are my thing. What is it that makes me happy? How do I feel about myself, Jasa? How do I feel? And if you're already into thinking a lot about how other people think, what other people say, and that is something you're doing, accept it. There's nothing wrong. You might be at that space, it's fine. Let's see how to capitalize it. If your thoughts have always been about how other people think, what other people say, but this one said this, but that one said that, okay, I'll make you do the same exercise in a different way in that case. So, what do other people say about you? What is your reputation? Think about this today. What is your reputation? Everyone has a certain reputation. What is a reputation? Or your reputation is something which precedes you, which comes before you. Before you even reach a place, before you even meet someone, your reputation reaches there before. So if you have a reputation for being very punctual, you have a reputation for being very organized, you have a reputation for being late, you have a reputation for always having excuses, you have a reputation for being however it is. All of you will see and realize that we have a reputation which reaches before we reach. Right? So think about what is your reputation. Do you like your reputation? what people say about you. And because I've given you examples both ways, reputation is positive and negative. A lot of people have a very positive reputation. I remember in school being this person, the reputation that teachers have with the she can do no wrong. Like literally, if I would tell that teacher that no, I did this, they're like, no, you can't do it. I'm like, no, I'm telling you I did it. नहीं बराबर ही किया होगा. If you've done it, you must have done it for a reason. They have on CCTV, there's something, but because I was mostly, like hardworking, studious, organized, got my things done. The reputation was very positive. So anything negative I did, also my reputation surpassed it. They were like, no, if you've done it, if you're saying you've done it for good reason. Like, okay, if you believe that, then that is great. I'd love to get on board with that. There are also times when your reputation is negative and that precedes you. And you will see that often upsets us, that affects our relationships with everyone around us. If your reputation is that you're always late, that you're lazy, that you don't do something, etc., etc., now that reputation has reached that place before you have reached. Before you even meet the person, they have a certain set notion about you. And very often, when we are not aligned with ourselves, why is it important to align with ourselves? Because still we are not aligned with ourselves, with what we want in our lives, with who we are. Do I know who I am? If I am very sure I'm a person who's very punctual, I'm not late, I'm on time, I will be there. There'll be no need to defend, there'll be no need to do anything, but that becomes my whole energy. Reputation can change. But when I am not aligned with myself, you will see oftentimes you will give in to a certain situation, you will give in to the energy within that environment, you will give in to the energy that is being fed over there. So even if that person was doing a lot of work, was really busy before that, they walked into a room where 5 people are sitting and they believe that that person doesn't do anything. They'll walk in and they will be asked, "Acha, are you were late, what were you doing?" But हम लोग वो एनर्जी इतना फास्ट कैच करते हैं that we almost give in to like नहीं कुछ नहीं कर रहे. We give in to that energy, we give in to that reputation because we're not sure of ourselves. So होता है ना, there'll be negative and there'll be positive. Just before this, we were doing a live release on this thing, the fear of we were talking about magic unleashed, from moving from fear to strength, and we were talking about just this, how energy is constant. So what it's molded into is what you are going to allow it to be molded into. So there will be fear, there'll be stress. What is the energy that is stronger is what's going to overwhelm in a given situation. So please sit down with yourself, think about who is it that you are? What is it that you want? Write down simple goals for yourself. Do I like my reputation? Yes or no? I don't like my reputation. For instance, I have a reputation that I'm late, I'm this, I'm this. What can I do to change it? Am I ready to take that action? If you are at a point where you're more connected to yourself, where you are introspecting, okay, what are my goals? They don't need to be that I am earning this much. It can be anything. My goal is to wake up at this time every day. Your goals have to be aligned with what you truly want to achieve in life. A lot of us feel stuck because we want to make our spiritual growth, because learning and empowering ourselves through these emotions is extremely important. Knowing your emotions is at the core of all of this. I have to know my emotions to recognize them. When I don't know my emotions, when I'm not sure what I'm feeling, that is where this whole confusion begins. What are my emotions? How am I feeling? Can I allow myself to acknowledge this feeling and let it pass? Okay, I feel very angry. Okay, I feel upset. Okay, I feel this way. Acknowledge it, embrace it, work through it, and get on the other side. It's like when your child will come to you If you are scared of having that conversation, if you're scared of embracing that emotion, you're likely to brush it under the rug. Your child asks you, oh, why were you fighting with, Papa? Or they ask you about something you are uncomfortable talking about. When you're not aligned within yourself, you'll be uncomfortable talking about something, you'll brush it under the rug. But most time, if your child comes and tells you, I got so angry at this one, I did this, I did this, I did this. When I'm imbalanced, I cannot balance another person. You will ask them, what made you angry? But why were you angry? What happened? What happened? When you give them that room to bloom, to grow, to understand their emotion, when we understand our emotions, we are ready to master the virtues that we're here to master. Whether that is gratitude, whether that is joy, whether that is compassion. Because when I feel compassion within myself, I can be compassionate to another person. When I trust myself, I trust that jo ho raha hai, theek hi ho raha hai. You see a person who's very good at doing their job, no? Generally, they will not do dug 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 in everyone else's job. Because they're so focused on doing their job and doing it well that they automatically like, ah, so if this person is handling this, let them handle it. And then there'll be that one person who's not sure what their role in the company. They're just going from here. They're like, is this done? Is this done? Is this done? Is this done? They're questioning everyone. They're annoying everyone else also about their jobs. So sit with yourself. Know what your USP is. Know what you're here to master. Know where you're stuck. What do I want to be? Your goal can be as simple as I want to be a happy person. I want to be a peaceful person. I want to be healthy. Acha, I want to be healthy. What do I need to do for it? I always tell you guys, right? Start with baby steps. That's okay. It's a not starting which is a problem. Literally, you cannot do 30-minute walks every day. I will walk 2 minutes. I will walk 500 steps, 1,000 steps after my meal. Bus. I'm going to do that for the next 2 days. I'll have my meal, but I'm going to make sure that even if I'm walking in my corridor, even if I'm walking in my bathroom, I will walk 500 steps. And then I'll sit. Start showing your brain, start showing yourself that you're going to show up for yourself. If you're really unhappy with someone and how they're treating you, think about everything they're annoying you about and think about whether you're doing that for yourself or not. I know how everyone else should treat me. My kids should talk to me this way, my partner should talk to me this way, my parents should be doing this. How should I be talking to myself? How are you talking to yourself every day? What is the kind of self-talk that you have on a regular basis? Do you even talk to yourself every day? Think about it. How much time do you sit with yourself? You're busy, you're this, you're that, and I'm telling you this are all excuses because sitting with yourself doesn't happen that, oh, I'm going to sit in meditation now. Listen, where are you? Like, when you talk about I want to connect with my partner, what do we say? They should just get it. I shouldn't need to tell them. सब चीज बोल के थोड़ी होती है. उतना तो समझना चाहिए. Your partner will come and tell you, yeah, even I want to talk to you, लेकिन time किधर है? You'll have an explanation about how time is not required. If they really want to connect with you, they can be with you 2 minutes and there will still be a connection. Have you all had those moments where you all have made those speeches, said, uske liye time nahi chahiye. Irada chahiye. You need intention. And when you understand the person, you don't need time to understand them. You'll see whether it's your best friend, whether it's your child, whether it's anyone that you are really connected to, you don't need time to understand them. Your child will say something, you will know everything. You will know why they must have done this, what, this, everything. Because you just get them. Your best friend will call you and say, this happened. You already know कि अगर इन्होंने ये बोला है, they would have felt, they said कि, oh, today he did this. And you're like, अच्छा, so she must have felt this way, this, you know everything in that one line. Sometimes you'll have a relationship that's very strong with someone, they won't say anything also. You're sitting across a distance. I don't know if you've ever experienced this. I've had this where I'm sitting across a distance, whether it's a really close friend, sometimes it's a client who you get so connected with, and they've not said anything, but across the distance, I can sense when something is okay, something is not okay, and I'll leave them a message. But today I was remembering you. Is everything okay? Have any of you experienced that? Where you can understand another person, you can understand them without it requiring a lot of context, a lot of everything. So, connection with somebody does not require time. Time is not a prerequisite, it requires understanding. Sometimes you need no time to understand someone. Sometimes a person is talking to you for 2 hours, you're having a discussion for 2 hours, but you're still not anywhere near understanding what the other person has to say because we're just reacting. Somebody speaks, and instead of wanting to interact with them, we want to react to what they said, and they react to what we said, and it's just reaction after reaction that's happening. That's all that is happening. Reactions come out of some sort of disequilibrium in my connection with myself. तो ही मुझे इतना जरूरत लगता है to explain to them, to defend to them, to question them, to ask them. I cannot trust myself to do this, and I cannot trust them to do it. So let's start first by building that connection with ourselves. So connecting to yourself doesn't require hours. It just requires intention first. I wish to connect to myself. I want to get to know what my goals are. When you've been asked sometimes, so what are your goals in life? What are you doing in life? Does it bring up defense within you? Does it bring up a genuine answer? Sometimes we don't know what we're doing. We say, listen, I don't know, I'm also lost. But it's in that acknowledgement that yes, I am feeling lost, that I can go like, okay, so then how can I solve this? Problem जब समझ आएगा तो उसको solve करेंगे. Do you understand your emotions? We've discussed this so often. Sometimes we feel a certain emotion, but how it comes out is something completely different. You might be feeling tired, frustrated, but comes out as anger. You might be feeling extremely helpless, incapable, but it comes out as sadness. You start crying and you don't know why. One emotion takes a completely different route because somewhere there is just so much chemistry happening inside where we're not sure. So there's one way to correct that, and that is beginning your relationship with yourself and making that base very strong. Knowing, okay, what is it that I want to bring to the table? I want to bring this to the table. This is who I am. Who are you? What do you want your reputation to be? And what are you doing to achieve? We're all here. Our soul is here to learn all these thousands of virtues and emotions, to master them. What am I doing to learn that? What can I do to grow that? The minute you will start that journey, your brain, your soul, everything knows she is ready for this, and they're going to help you with it. So get to that space to answer these questions for yourself today and see what action steps you can take to just getting to know yourself a little better. Little karke, you'll get to know yourself a lot better. And when you feel aligned, I always go back to that week we did about thoughts, emotions, and actions aligning. Because when you are in alignment, everything in your life will be in alignment. So me talking about one thing and doing something completely opposite, my brain doesn't know what is this girl up to. Because you know what, karne do jo kar rahe. वो lose Canada, you don't know what to do when. You're like, let it be. It's like dealing with toddlers. 1 minute they'll ask you for something, next minute you give that to them, and now they're like, why did you give this to me? You never know. So you play every second very cautiously. Start with the self-love, start with the self-transformation if that is what is required. Start with knowing your emotions, start with setting goals for yourself. It can be anything. I want to learn more about the world. Okay, how can I learn more about the world? I'll start reading the paper every day. I'll start doing whatever it is. Set those goals for yourself then. Share those on the group if you want. You will only inspire others. But start there. And when you will automatically see when that base is strong, you're so content within yourself that the drama, unnecessary drama fizzles out. And the relationship with others also becomes a lot smoother because it's not coming from a place of dissatisfaction. There's no need to demand, there's no need to ask. I have such a great time with my, I don't feel the need to, no, no, you look at me, you say I'm pretty, you do this. I feel so pretty wearing this. I'll just walk around like that. You see, when you're not sure of a dress, you'll ask, how do I look? Is this looking fine? Is this like this? Is this like this? And then there'll be some clothes you just feel great in. You just wear it and walk out. Right? When do we ask? We only ask when we're not sure. When do we seek validation? When we're not sure. So when you will learn to become sure, you'll shift it. So Jay says, I have so many goals, I feel overwhelmed. That's what I'm telling you. Pick one. Write them all down. Take a notebook, write them all down. Go like, okay, this is a very big list. What happens? We get overwhelmed, we just stop. कुछ नहीं करना है. But that list will keep increasing. Na? It's like if I give you a house and there are 10 things to do in the house, and you go like, oh my god, like I need to do the laundry, I need to clean this, I need to cook, and bahut kam, and then you just sit down. As time goes, those tasks will not automatically happen. The tasks will keep increasing. What happens with our soul's growth is also we get overwhelmed, then we say, kuch karna hi nahi, let me just sit. So let me look at the neighbor's house and see how is that going. Arey wow, they'll clean very well. They did very well. But not realizing this mess I'll have to clean at some point. So take up one thing and see what can I do about this today. Write it, write. Get notebooks, write them down. Because in my head, no, everything like it'll come and then it'll go also that fast. Itna jaldi thought aayega, utna jaldi jayega. I tell people write notebooks. I found notes I written in 2010. I look at my students and I'm like, why don't you all write notes? Because our brain has a great, इसे कहो erase कर दो जरूरत ही नहीं. It overwhelms you. Okay, let's erase. So 3 days you'll be relaxed. 4 days you'll be like, there's so much more to do. Or we go like, let me look at someone else's thing. Huh? This looks good. So we sit and think they didn't do this behavior right. Huh? Because now I don't want to spend time on myself. So I sit and understand everyone else's behavior. I'll become a psychologist. But I won't sit and look at what I want to do. Pick one goal. Pick simple action steps that you can do. Simple, basic action steps. I want to start my spiritual journey. Fine. If, like, what do I want to do? Okay, I want to learn this. I can't do this. What can I do now? Okay, I'll listen to this meditation. I'll do. But implement that change. Show your brain that you want to change. Otherwise, your brain will also let everything go till it becomes a big issue. If you just keep your house dirty, eventually that fungus and everything is going to get to you, not to anyone. So write down all, then narrow it down further, pick a baby step and just do that. Okay? Clear? All right. So it's about our relationship with ourselves, and also too much time is wasted in the past. So now it's like doom time. That doom time will come closer and closer the more you ignore it. This is that case of we make a, अरे आज बहुत पढ़ाई है, let me make a list. अरे नहीं, but I should do this now. Now I realize at 10 o'clock I was supposed to start studying, but it's already 10:45 and अभी तो मैंने list खत्म किया है. तो अभी I'll start at 11 o'clock, but then अभी timing even नहीं है, तो अभी तो lunch के बाद चालू करते हैं. करके करके you don't do it only. I always tell people that quote the past. Just last week, my helper was like, I had one child who was ill. He was coughing and had a fever. And then after the other kid got ill. And this, I'm like, unko thoda distance pe rakho because he's just gotten better. So my helper sitting there in the kitchen like, पहले ही रखना था, this should have been happened, that should have happened, da 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 da. 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. I'm like, अरे वो लेके आओ तो मशीन लेके आओ, आपके पास है ना, लेके आओ अंदर से। दीदी कौन सा मशीन? मैं कह रहा वो टाइम मशीन है ना आपके पास, जल्दी लेके आओ। क्या दीदी? हम लाइक 2 मिनट मेरा वेस्ट कर, मैं बोल रही हूँ उनको अलग रखो, टाइम मशीन है आपके पास तो पीछे जाके चेंज करो। नहीं है तो अभी जो उससे आगे बढ़ो ना। हम लोग अगर ऐसा करते तो ये नहीं होता। तुम लाइक अभी से करो। अभी तुम और 5 मिनट बिगाड़ोगे इन डिस्कसिंग व्हाट कुड हैव बीन डन। I'm like, see, you have to understand that a very close age. Kar karke also they're still going to go close to each other. Do what you can now. She just didn't take the point and I told her you get the time machine, and if you don't have a time machine until you don't make it, do what you can do now. When your time machine is ready, you bring it to me and we'll go and correct everything. We don't have a time machine, so we're going to do what we can do now. Made a mistake, if you might have made a mistake every single day of your life. Doesn't matter. Today you want to change, bas, enough. That's enough to change. That's all you need. Today, if you don't choose to change, then you're making that same mistake today. All right? Okay. Let's quickly do some downloads. So would everyone like to know that I know and understand the creator of all that is his definition and perspective of the present, that I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to know that the present is a present, that I know what it feels like to be able to embrace my present, to learn any mistakes from the past that I may have made, to understand and know that I'm here to learn, to on a journey of growth and on a journey of empowerment, on a journey of recognizing my emotions, the and of learning virtues, knowing and understanding emotions and virtues as per the creator of all that is from the seventh plane. That I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to recognize my soul's energy, to recognize my higher self energy, to recognize the virtues that I am here to learn, to recognize the objective of this whole movie that I'm playing, and to know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible to take actions in my daily life that bring me closer to my life objective, that bring me closer to learning different virtues in my life, that bring me closer to being happier and more content with myself, knowing and understanding the creator of all that is his definition and perspective of being and feeling content and happy. And I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to live my daily life feeling happy about who I am, feeling content about where I am, knowing that we can feel content and happy about who we are and where we're at, and still grow ahead in life, to know what it feels like in my life to keep growing, to keep improving, to keep learning the virtues I'm here to learn, to allow myself to learn them in a joyous, happy, and fulfilling manner now, to allow myself to move beyond the cycles of challenges and constant sacrifice and growth, and to allow myself to move to a pure momentum of growth where change comes beautifully. Knowing and understanding that all of the shift that I desire within my relationships and within my life begin with my relationship with myself. Knowing and understanding the creator of all that is his definition and perspective of self love, of connection, of self acceptance, and of trust within the self, that I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to live my daily life, building my foundation towards myself and foundation towards my knowing of who I am very, very strong, to know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible, and that I choose to live my daily life loving myself, accepting myself wholly and completely, knowing that I'm in the right place at the right time, allowing myself to make changes within my life so that I can better understand and embrace all that I am. Knowing that I can love myself for who I am, knowing that I am the way I am for a reason, knowing what it feels like to be able to build my reputation to be a positive one, to be one that I am happy and content with, that I allow myself to take action towards being content with myself and allowing myself to be aligned in my thoughts, emotions, and actions. And that each day that I live, I know what it feels like to build this foundation of my relationship with myself stronger, to know that it is safe to look within, to know that it is safe and joyous for me to spend time with myself, to know that I'm allowed to spend time with myself, To know that I am allowed to have goals, dreams, and desires that are my own, that I allow myself to know who I am, to build my goals, dreams, and desires around who I choose to be and who I am, and that I allow myself to manifest a life in my present and future that I'm truly happy about and feeling at peace with. Would you each like these downloads into every cell, atom, molecule of your body, every area of your life, at all four levels of your belief systems, and in any and every language ever known or understood by you, for your highest and best and in your highest and best manner? Simply affirm yes to receive the downloads. Okay. So everyone here, I just urge you all, get a diary, write down these questions, sit with yourself for a little bit. You might feel like running away, but see if you can avoid running away and just write a simple answer also. When you're gonna know yourself better, your relationships with everyone are gonna improve. This is like immunity. It's like, you keep saying, oh, but this person is so negative, this one does this, that one does this. We always tell a person you can either, avoid every germ everywhere. So, you go like you go and just clean every surface you are on, everything you're on, but there's still so many germs everywhere. So you can either keep fearing everything that could make you sick, or you can really build a strong immunity so that your confidence comes from you. So you can either be like, oh, but this relationship is making me unhappy. This got better, but the other got worse. Now this one understands me, but that person doesn't understand. When you will be at peace with yourself, you will automatically see that reflect everywhere. All right. So please do that. Have a great rest of the week and for all you moms out there, please make sure that you all are following that content, because I'm working really hard to figure out something that's going to help every one of you, no matter what stage you're at, with your motherhood as well. So that's also going to be about your time, your reflection with yourself. And we putting that out there. But take the time to know yourself a little better today. Take the time to take action towards developing your virtues, your mind, your soul, the universe. You'll thank yourself for it. And that's where everything will start and begin. See you all next week. Take care and see you next week.